to the Self-Checkout Show Season 3 premiere. I'm your boy, Pastor Will. Glad to have you with us tonight. And welcome, everybody. Facebook, YouTube, welcome. Thank you all for joining us tonight. We're going to have some fun. And before we have any type of fun, ladies and gentlemen, wherever you're listening to this show, watching this show, we want you to make sure that you take some time. If you haven't done so already, take some time and pray for the citizens of California that are suffering right now from those deadly, horrific wildfires. I'm grateful that every person that I know in California that I'm connected to, I have been able to speak with them. All is well with them. One of them evacuated to, I think, Oakland. One of them came here. The others are, but we are grateful for their lives, and we are sincerely praying for everybody else that is dealing with those horrible conditions there in California. So there, Lord, send the rain. So glad to have you guys with us tonight. Of course, this is your favorite Christian talk show where we take an honest look at what's in our hearts, minds, and spirits. On this show, we don't argue, we don't fight. And when we disagree, we do it respectfully because everything that's done and said here is done and said in love. Dr. Nancy is with us. Coach Crystal is back with us. And our special guest tonight, Mr. Delvin Haynes. Hey, you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. I'm trying to focus. You know, Dr. Nancy is such a distraction, but the honor and a testimony. Amen.
You guys, man, it was Coach Crystal that sent us a video, and we're going to get to it in a minute, which is why we have the topic for this show tonight, because there was so many things going on in that video. But before we do get to that, Delvin, please tell our viewers a little bit about yourself.
Oh, now, I wasn't ready for all of that. Seasoned elementary educator, entrepreneur. Anything you want to find out, I'll comment below. Follow the page, like the page. Great dancer, great baker, so they say. I think I got receipts to prove that. So just inbox me.
And see, I'm gonna be nice and agree with everything that you said because it's all true.
Love that, because one thing
you left out intercessor, great intercessor, prophet.
Not to lie. Yeah, like the Lord. Yeah. I can certainly pray that I believe I can get that job done too. So, your very own Renaissance man, if you will. Yeah.
And you are an educator. What grade or grades do you teach?
My God, I feel like I teach them all. Currently, I teach 4th and 5th grade.
4th and 5th. Nice. Yeah. Well, we certainly would like to welcome you to the Self-Checkout Show. So glad that you were able to come. I said, you all my viewers, I said that I was soliciting some help to deal with this one and this one. Oh. And Dr. Nancy already trying to turn them against me.
I don't understand what I'm doing. I don't have to turn him against you.
Was I included in this one and this one?
But I don't have to turn him against you because, as forestated, he is my baby brother. And so, I mean, it just is what it is, you know? We ride together.
Yeah. I guess we still love you.
We ride until we. I gotta see what I got myself into. Let's see. The man of God did say, "Disagree in love."
Well, guys, that's how we got to do it. So tonight is going to be pretty interesting, I think, because a lot of single folks out there. We deal with all types of relationships on the show, and one thing that we have talked about in the past recently was some of these men and women do it alike. They make these posts, Delvin, my future husband, dear future wife, and it just it annoys me to no end. But I wonder from that video, I didn't want to show. I kind of wanted to show the video, Crystal, but one part of it the Saints wouldn't be able to take, so I just said I'm not going to show it. But we know what the video was, and I watched that video and I got to thinking about people who truly do want to be partnered, married, whatever you want to call it. I'm like, I wonder if some of these people, if their standards are too high. Now, some may say that there is no such thing. And I'm willing to hear both sides of that. But an article I read says that if you're wondering why you're having difficulty finding a compatible match and whether your expectations of a partner are realistic, you may want to evaluate your dating standards. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, aside from myself, Dr. Nancy, Coach Crystal, Mr. Delvin, do any of you believe that there are some people whose standards are considered to be too high?
Yes.
Yes.
No. Dr. Nancy says no. Crystal says yes. Delvin says
yes.
Yes.
He said yes. Okay. I say yes too. And I'm interested in hearing Dr. Nancy's no.
I knew you were going to do that. Well, I feel like no matter whether the standard is too high or too low, it's their standard. So is there really a such thing? It's my preference. Now, whether or not that person comes along or whether or not I ever meet that person that can meet those standards, then that's something different. But I don't feel like you should ever necessarily take down on your standard. It's what you want. When you go to the store, when you go to the grocery store, do you take down on what you want when you go to the store? No, you buy what you want. So that's the same way I feel about your standards. Is what it is.
So what happens then if not you, but generally speaking, you have these unrealistic, to some, unrealistic standards? You got 32 boxes that you want him or her to check off in order for you to give them the time of day. Can we even at least agree that sometimes the standards are kind of unrealistic?
Then the person would have to be prepared to be by themselves. That's it. Then that means you have to take an inward look at yourself and say, you know what? They're not checking off all of my boxes. I don't want to take down from my standards. I don't want to compromise. So I'm prepared to remain by myself. A lot of times when we change our standards or we lower our standards, then sometimes we find ourselves in a position where we really are unhappy personally. So again, I don't feel like anyone should have to necessarily lower their standards or change their standards to have somebody, because then you're not fulfilled in the relationship.
But it don't sound like if I have a certain level of standards and they're high and they're not comparable to who I am or my needs at the time, I'm going to be unhappy anyway, because there's not going to be anybody that's going to check all of those boxes. Well, so at some point you have to not so much lower, but you need to adjust. You need to
evaluate.
Okay, so I'll give you the adjusting, but that's as you go in life. So depending upon your age, where you are in life, you may have to adjust them then. But do I lower them? This is just me. Let me just put this disclaimer out there yet again. This is just me. But do I have to look? Because even as we grow and as we change, I'm sure that you all will agree that we change as we grow. What I like today, I may not like next year or next month or next week. It just depends. You know what I'm saying? So again, I mean,
so that's still lowering, because as we grow, the same thing that I wanted at 21, I don't need, nor do I want.
But
So
is it lowering or adjusting? Like you said? Is it lowering?
Because at some point, I said, this is what I want. At some point, this is it. I don't want him. If he don't come just like this, that's not what I want. Right. As I aged, you get older, you learn different things, and you look at that list and you say, you know what? Some of this is not even necessary. Some of it is actually silly.
I agree.
So there is a change. We can word it how we want to word it.
Okay. I'll go with that.
We can say, but that's what it is. You changing those standards. You made some changes in what you want.
All right. So I think that we kind of agree then. You know, like you have your standards. You know, you may tweak them as you go, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you lower them.
I want to say good evening to Tam. Glad to have you, Tam. Tam, thank you for joining us. Hey, Mama, love you. Thank you for being here. Hey, Mama. Cousin Bishop Johnny Marshall is with us tonight.
Blessings, Bishop.
And my beautiful god sister, Miss Yellow Daisy herself, and she has a question. She says, what about keeping your standards and possibly agreeing to compromise a few things? Okay, I kind of feel like Crystal was trying to go there right there. Hey, Stella, thank you for joining us.
It's a little space there. Me having my standards are my standards, right? You have to compromise in anything. It's not saying the standard is no longer there. What I'm saying is, I see you working. This is how we're gonna work together, but we're still gonna reach it. So those are two different things.
So Crystal, if they don't check every box, but let's say they check majority of them boxes.
Depends on what boxes they check. It depends on which boxes are checked.
Okay, all right. I want to go to my guest tonight, Delvin. I want to hear a male perspective on what these ladies are talking about. Mr. Naperville over here.
It sounds like there's a discussion around being rigid versus not. I think we do adjust as we get older, as wisdom is applied to our lives, and as we grow and things change. But I think it's an issue of not so much are they too high, but why are we so rigid about a certain something? I think what Crystal started to allude to was, what boxes are they checking? Because if you still have temper tantrums and we 40, no. That is something to be rigid about, because why you didn't deal with that a decade ago, 20 years ago. But now, if it's something like you need a job, you need an income. I don't care where you work, but everybody in this house works. Now that's something that, stands the test of time. Like you need a work ethic. You need to be able to keep a job. You shouldn't have 5 different jobs in a 12 calendar year. Yeah. So I think it's a matter of what are we so rigid about? Because this video talked about submission and all these other kinds of things. And I think some men are super rigid about this submission piece, but you don't got no work ethic. And that's where the problem comes in at. You haven't learned about, you haven't perfected your leadership skills, but you can harp on a woman cooking and submitting to you. That don't work. It's a matter of talking about what we and why we rigid about it.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Some things are non-negotiable. And John Stennis is in the room. And
hello, friend.
Hey, JP.
Here he go in my stuff as usual. Non-negotiables.
Yeah.
Everybody has them. Everybody has them. Now, Crystal, Coach Crystal, all your boxes checked except this one, just one. And this one is one of your non-negotiables. Do you do away with the whole thing?
It's possible. But again, we need to discuss what that non-negotiable is. Is it set in stone? Is it something that a person can work on? I can voice my opinion and say, hey, this is where I need you, or these are the things that I don't like. And they're saying, you know what? I can work with that. Now, I still need to see repetition in you doing it correctly. Now that could push it away.
Good evening, Kimmy. Thank you for joining
Kimmy.
us tonight. I'm happy that my singles are hopping on tonight to chat with us. Delvin, let's talk about non-negotiables. You have them. We all have them.
Yeah. I believe in conversations like this. Context is everything. Context. So if you checking these boxes, I have to check this list twice, but you hit that non-negotiable, I gotta go.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to save myself the inspection of the season, because what I've learned about myself in real time, I was right the first time. So, moment I figure this ain't gonna work, ain't no need no more probation period. It's time to have a conversation, and we should probably go our separate ways. In a dating context, I definitely recognize that marriage is different. So for the married folk that's out here, you struggling, that's your husband, that's your wife. Y'all work on that. It's tools for that. But in a situation where we're dating, we get to know each other, I don't owe you much, we ain't got nothing, we ain't, blank, 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 y'all fill in the blanks. When you check that box, for me, time to go.
Okay.
And that's again why a conversation is so needed. And again, that's another reason why your standards, you have to be okay with your standards. And that's another reason why I said there's not necessarily such thing as the standards being too high, because we all want what we want. And like Delvin just said, if that's something you're not, I may not want to stick around while you're going through filling out all these resumes trying to find a job. Hello, I gotta lower it and say, okay, well, I'll give in and wait till you find a job, and you may never find a job because I'm gonna make you comfortable.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, no.
Coach Crystal said something a little bit ago about. She said when I was 21, I wanted this. Now, now I'm older, I don't want it like this. But like one thing she said was, I wanted him to look a certain way, And I think at some point we all have had in our mental, I would like him or her to look like this, light skin, skinny, or with a little meat on the bones, or whatever. Okay, so let's take this. Let me remove these non-negotiables for a second. Let's talk about the packaging. What if? Because I think that many people have fallen for the packaging trap. What that is some will pass up, Delvin, what possibly may have been the best choice, but it's not packaged the way I want it to be. It don't look like I want it to look.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that they're ugly or unattractive even, but that's just not... I want it
like that's not the type of man that I'm, attracted to normally, or that's not the type of woman that I would be normally attracted to. But if that same woman you've been attracted to for the last 5 times and it didn't work out, then you need an adjustment.
Right. Yeah.
Well, I think that we all have an idea, right, of what we want. So the packaging trap, we can all agree that we've all gotten caught up in that, because that's what we want. Now, like Crystal said a little while ago, as you get older and you've had several experiences like Delvin alluded to, the package, the look of the package can change.
It's gonna change.
So now then that's another standard. Then that's another, that's your standard. This is okay. So now that didn't quite work, but now this is what I want. So we go through that again. it's still pointing to the fact that you don't necessarily have to lower your standards. You may have to tweak them here and there. Again, as you get older, what you wanted what I wanted when I was 21, again, like my best friend said, is definitely not what I want now that I'm knocking on 52.
But you know what I'm thinking? When I
Did y'all catch that?
And what I think the problem is not so much do you lower, are they too high?
Right.
Some of us are still walking around with the same list from 21.
Now that there, that's
And
the
that's
nail
the problem.
Right.
That's the nail in the coffin right there.
Yeah, because because if you 40 and
Right.
you still want the exact same thing you did
Something's
when you were
wrong.
20,
There are people
something is
walking around
definitely
like
wrong
that.
with that.
Something is wrong. Yes.
100% they walking around just like that. Everybody is not mature enough to say, let me make an adjustment, because what you presented to whomever that was on that paper at 21, you're not even that.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to make an adjustment.
I'm coming down that street. My mom says, after being a widow for 4 years to an incredible husband, I do find myself comparing them to my husband. It's not working out too well. So what happens now? See, this is what happens when you have or had someone that raised the bar all the way up there.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. And now that's a different thing.
Different story.
Yeah,
yeah,
okay?
that's a different story.
That's
because
different.
now you're looking at, now we're looking at like what mom is saying. Now we're looking at times, right?
Yeah.
That was a different time. Like Delvin was talking about being a Renaissance man. Those men back, like my daddy, Crystal's dad, those were your dad. Those were men. Those were,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, those were men. Nowadays,
you're not gonna get that. You'd be lucky if you get a third of that.
So now you, like Mama is saying, you are left dazed and confused. Like now what? And so now that's the real question. Now, do I have to really lower my standards, or now do I have to learn and adjust and be okay with being by myself? Because that time, or those days, or those men, good luck finding them, right?
I feel like in my mom's case here, I feel like when you have had someone who was everything to you, who really did, Crystal, check all your boxes.
Check everybody.
Right? Yeah. Checked all the boxes. Now
those men did.
You're without.
You didn't have to write no boxes.
You didn't have to worry about it. Those men did. Our daddies.
Yeah.
They checked every box.
Yeah. And so now when you're without, it's like when they come to you, you like,
what am I gonna do with you?
You know?
Yeah.
That's so true. That's so true.
That's very, very true.
Yeah.
Delvin, you, as Dr. Nancy has stated before we went live, you like to take little trips out to Naperville.
They just gonna tell your business.
Yeah. Oh, he told his own business. It was on Facebook. He told his own business.
He always makes sure that I'm protected. Thank you, Crystal, so much. Nobody. And thankfully, y'all ain't lying. Yes, I mean, I live a very nice life. I travel a bit, to have experience.
Yeah. Good.
Soon. Who knows?
So, okay, John says in relation to us talking about our fathers, they don't make them like that no more. Those men are antiques. You want to hold on to them forever. Men of integrity.
So true.
That they are indeed. Society and social media makes it hard for a lot of singles. Delvin, do you agree with this statement or not?
I do.
Tell me why.
It creates this false reality.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we kind of gravitate toward. And so we don't ever get a chance to kind of sober up and realize that's not where I live. That's not the way that it is for me. Mm-hmm. And not that my situation, my predicament, my area is terrible. It causes like some type of blindness where I don't really see the goodness where I am and what I got going on, or what I even could have going on.
Yeah.
because of the scrolling and because of what I'm tapping like on and because of what they saying. And I want to be this, I want to have that. And he did this or she did that, or this is what's going on. And when you are single at any age, if those things are not happening and you see enough of it, you might start to think that this is what my life should look like. And so that's where these, I don't want to call them ridiculous standards, but I'll say these exacerbated standards come from. Recognizing or not recognizing that's not where I live. Now I should have something like that. I may want something of that, but I'm not sober enough, thanks to social media, to actually figure out what that is.
Yeah.
You are, or I will, let me ask you, if you don't mind answering, sir. Are you currently dating?
Currently dating.
They say it's a little pee in the dating pool out there, Coach Crystal. I wouldn't know. I don't know exactly what.
I wouldn't know.
I
don't know why you always set my best friend up for this. You already know what you already know. Don't be putting my best friend. Don't do it, please. Because
in that comment and say that I don't ascribe to that. I don't. I didn't know what that's y'all experience. That ain't mine. But go ahead.
It ain't mine. Listen, Antoinette said dating nowadays is like eating rewarmed Alpo. Oh, well, okay.
That's what I keep hearing. I mean, that's what the people saying.
That's what they say. Oh, okay. Renee, yeah.
Hey, girl.
Okay, it's a little bad out in them streets.
I see.
It's a little rough out in them streets. So we have people with non-negotiables. Perfectly fine. You should have them. What you will take, what you won't take. Crystal closed the whole pool. No patrons allowed.
But see, even in her point, her case in point, she's okay with who she is. Like Delvin said, she's not worried about social media. She's not worried about what the people are saying, what the world is saying, what they're doing. She's not worried about her list of standards. She don't even want to be bothered with the list, right? She is just like, I'm straight, I'm good.
Yeah.
Moving on.
You will know or notice that from the time that we were coming up to now, everything has changed.
Oh my God.
Including the way dating goes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
It's all changed.
Yes.
Back in the day, the dude used to have to come to the girl's door, knock on the door,
yes,
ask for permission,
yes, talk to the father,
and talk to the father. The parent, they said, "Okay, I'll let her go, but she got to be home by 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, whatever the curfew was," and that was the standard.
Yes, yeah.
Then, 80s.
That was standard in the 90s.
Kind of changed up around through the 90s.
It was the standards in the 90s.
It went left, I think, mid 90s and on down. Like
mid 90s,
prior to that, because
So how do you think that society, Delvin, how do you think that society has played a part in the way people date nowadays?
I think society plays a part in that by not having conversations. We don't understand how things came to be. We don't understand why things are. We don't understand why things have fallen apart. We don't understand nothing. I think we all out here flying by the seat of our pants, if you will. We don't know how our grandparents came together. We don't know why they stayed together. We don't know how our parents even got together. And in some cases, when divorces are introduced, we don't know why folk got divorced. They just disappeared. And so we go on with our lives. And nobody's teaching the next generation based on the lived experience of the former. And so you got people out here call themselves dating, have no clue what that means, what that looks like, what the responsibilities are. Even when it goes from dating to being exclusive and We throw words around. We don't know what they mean. We don't even have a clue what they would imply. But we're dating. We're courting. Some folk even are calling themselves wanting to get married. And some people ascribe to women proposing to men. Don't know what that is and where that came from. But again, it's a lack of conversation being had. And that's why you kind of have the dating pool as it is today. Because how do you go from a young man being courageous enough, man enough at that tender age to go ask another older man, can I date, can I court? And now you got fathers absent. You have daughters who don't have relationships with father if they're anywhere around, and then you don't have young men who know to do that or are even interested, and then can't really have that conversation. They have no goal, no dream, no vision, no desire to do anything.
Shawana says they, talking about our parents and grandparents, they made a decision good to their partner and stuck with them, period. They just got together and they stayed together regardless, right?
Yeah.
And it's not like that nowadays. John says dating has also changed because the values have changed in society.
Yeah.
And it's we see it every day. It's the truth. It's nothing but the truth. And then we have our young girls nowadays, well, boys too, our young people nowadays who have these influencers that they look up to, that they want to model themselves after, and some of them are not very good role models. You know, they will date one, drop them, and pick up another one, drop them and pick up another. And you know, for some people, some of our young folks, they think that's a flex. And my opinion is it's not.
It's not. Longevity is the flex.
Listen, now I do believe that serial dating, as they call it, is, I think that's okay. Because you gotta, I feel like you gotta figure out, you know, who you like, who you don't like. I think we talked about that a little bit before on the show. You might want to, in a 2-week span, you might date 3 different people. Go out on a date, I mean, with 3 different people.
Yeah.
Trying to determine, coach, which one of these may be the one.
Well, I think when y'all talk about social media, society, everybody, and I'm not going to say everybody, there are people who have a mindset of pick me. So it's, I'm going to do what needs to be done so that they'll pick me. Then there's low self-esteem because you have girls walking around who don't know their worth. Then you have girls and boys alike who no one has ever really taught them any of that. When our parents dated, they didn't really have to do all that dating. You know what I mean? They saw somebody. I know your parents know my parents. We go to church together. We go to school together. It's already there. The bond is there. And their struggles are different than the struggles that are of today. They had kids. You're going to go home and bring this money home. Their struggles were different. While they were hard to them at that time, they were different. Now we bring in all of this other stuff. Now I'm a baby mama. You got a baby mama. She want to fight. I want to fight. It's too much. If they would just simplify it, they could work it out.
Delvin, you teach 4th and 5th grade. What do you hear from your boys and girls about other boys and girls? That's safe to say on my show.
So let's broaden it a little bit. My first set of 5th grade. So in 5th and 6th grade, when I first had them, they think they like boys. Some girls think they like girls.
You breaking up, little brother.
You breaking up.
You need to move something or lift something.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in that kind of junior high, almost middle school area, they're starting to like the opposite sex or even the same sex in some contexts. And I think some adults downplay that as if it's not a real thing because your body is starting to change. But then also, we're not even educating them about how this is supposed to work. I think that's a necessary conversation to have right then. In the fourth grade, not so much. What I've seen now, some girls come their cycles around the fourth grade. So there's a difference that starts to play out. And at that point, they don't like boys. Some to lean more closer to boys. Boys are immature. It seems to be more elevated at that time. And we kind of like each other. We don't know what that means. Or we mimic what we see at home, which is not always the greatest example. But it doesn't get bad in high school. That's probably the worst you see. In those 20s, when there is a baby mama and so on and so forth, that's the fifth grade. Now, keep in mind, ain't nobody literate, seriously. So we got other issues, but we like one another. And keep in mind, I'm a literacy teacher, so I know a lot of our babies can't read. So while we liking each other, we won't call ourselves dating. Read the sentence out loud first. Yeah.
We need to do that for some adults. But anyway, welcome, Mac Brown. Glad to have you. Good evening, Tabby. Glad to have you. I think that, one of the reasons I wanted to ask you that is because at fourth and fifth grade, those are impressionable ages where you can be, I would imagine they can be easily persuaded, and then there's always the peer pressure because they might be what the old folks used to call girls fast, right? And they used to call the boys mannish, and they're smelling themselves, because I know Dr. Nancy was fast when she was little. I know this. I know.
How do you know?
I just know. Don't do that.
How do you know?
I just know.
Tell them again, best friend.
And so you were managed.
And you were managed. Tell them.
Bishop George. I was indeed. Bishop George is watching us all the way from Busia, Kenya. Welcome, Bishop. Thank you for tuning in. We love you. So glad to have you. I'm just being silly with Dr. Nancy, of course. But, at such a tender age, they're impressionable. They have peer pressure and sometimes tend to do what they see their friends do. And then you have like a case where I forgot what I was watching, where the parents sent the girl out to school and she had her change of clothes in her book bag, because her parents wouldn't let her wear it to school. So when she got to school, she ditched that school outfit and put on her little hot clothes, This is what I'm talking about. It's a different age. It's a different Josh said you still fast.
I see him. I'm a pop.
And look at this one.
Your mama was fast. Mama Helen said she was fast. Nah.
Yep. So first of all, Delvin, let me say thank you for what you do for teaching our children. That is a wonderful, wonderful thing that you are doing. I want to get back to something. While we were talking about standards and non-negotiables and all of that, let me just drop this on here. Are there some people who's asking for stuff that they don't even have themselves?
100%.
Now, see, this is where I would have a problem, Coach. How are you asking somebody to be making X amount of dollars and you got to have this much? Your credit score got to be this much, for example, but you don't even have that. I mean, come on. You want, the question is what you bring to the table. Well, what do you bring? I mean,
because they're putting their worth they're putting a dollar sign on worth. They don't have any substance. So if you telling me I need to make 200 grand for you to be with me, why?
Why?
And then when this man asks you what you have to bring to the table, you're offended. Don't be offended, baby, because we got to be equal. The Bible
That's
says
all I'm
be equal.
saying.
So we got to be equal. We got to. I can take care of you. Y'all got to be equal on a lot of things. I'm just not gonna put 200 grand in your account and we just gonna do whatever. You got to bring something to the table, babe.
I think that too. While we're talking, we got to remember too that for so long, the idea was that a relationship was 50-50. And it is not, or 70-30 or 60-40. And so, and again, sometimes the younger girls are looking at the older relationships where our fathers actually brought their checks home, the whole check, right?
The whole check.
The whole check. Mm-hmm. And our moms paid the bills or wrote the checks and made sure that the bills were paid. They took allowances and whatnot back then in those days. And so nowadays the girls are looking at that. They want that life, but they don't want to do what those women did. That's right. To have that life. So they want the men that's going to bring that check home. They don't have to work per se, but they're not cooking. They're not cleaning. They're not washing clothes. These are basic skills. They're not washing clothes. They don't want to do that kind of stuff. They don't want to bathe themselves and look presentable when he comes home and make sure that he has a meal ready for him. So they don't want to make sure that the bills get paid. They want to go take that check if he bring it home and they're going to go shop. They're going to squander it. They're going to shop with it, right? They're going to get their nails done, whatever. So again, like we've all said, and like it's been alluded to, social media is really tearing it up. It's just really running amok. And that's why we're in that position.
It doesn't tell the whole story, because when you're looking at a relationship, social media presents something to you. You don't know what they're doing behind that door.
Right.
You don't know what the agreement is. You don't know what her role is, what his role is.
Right.
You just see a picture. That's what I want.
Right.
But it's a whole lot involved in that.
A lot, right. Mm-hmm.
Delvin, you are an established man. Do you go by that? You got to make about as much money as I do if I'm gonna even talk to you. Do you believe in that?
I don't. Think you have an income? Yes. You got to make what I make? No. Because personally, I don't want a woman that works as hard as I do. I have a full-time job. I run a business. I have other ways to make money. I don't think there's anything I do that doesn't actually make me money. So when I think about a potential spouse, I'm looking for work ethic, yes, because I think you should have that as a single woman, and I think that'll be helpful when we come together. But working as hard as I do, who raising my kids? And not that she's limited to only, but if I'm assuming already that I'm going to bear the bulk of the financial burden, you can't do that as well. That's not going to work. Now, if I'm being ascribed to the house husband thing, I don't. I do not. I enjoy working. Nothing like my grandmother used to say, nothing like a black man working. Yeah. So that's
BMW. That BMW, I like it.
BMW.
I don't, and I've heard Nancy say often that nowadays it does take two incomes to keep a household.
Absolutely.
But again, when I'm choosing a mate, she does not need to work as hard as I do. Her income don't have to match mine. She needs one. She should have one. But when I think about what's going to make longevity happen, she may have to come off a job for a season. I may be without a job, God forbid, in a season. So work needs to be there because I think it's helpful for longevity's sake. I've seen it where my mom is working, my father went back to school. I've seen it where my father has worked. I've seen it happen in the name of longevity. So no, you don't have to do what I made, but you should have some money. Yeah.
Mac Brown said that's why I date white now, because they just like you for you.
It's not a race. It's not a race.
It has nothing to do with it. Because some of them require more than us. So.
Listen here. And some of them won't take us because of us.
Do you understand me?
Huh? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just
But
gonna,
your preference now, your preference is your preference.
Your preference
hey,
is your preference.
whatever. Do what you like.
Yeah.
100%.
Now, one last thing, Crystal, one of you, I think it was Crystal that mentioned being
And if that be
equally
the case,
yoked.
I'm so sorry. That just stirred on the inside of me.
I'm sorry.
And if that be the case, that we're saying that they have no standards. Okay, carry on.
All right.
Oh, okay. We mentioned, Crystal mentioned being equally yoked. And I think that a lot of times that particular saying, which is biblical, is taken way out of context. Oh, Mac Brown, see what you done started.
It stirred us. You see what I'm saying?
But can I put a pin right here? That I put a premium?
Please do.
On? Y'all can date, y'all can have what y'all like, but a black woman of any hue, any height, any color.
Say.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's what it's gonna be any day of the week, 365 and 366 if I get lucky. Okay. Yeah. So have what you want. Baby, if it's curly, if it's pinky, if it's a wig, baby, if you bald. You're black, that's the qualification. Go ahead.
It's just not fair to say that. It's really not fair to say that. You know, I have some Caucasian friends, again, who have standards and who want what they want. And so to say that that's why you date them, because they just like you for you. So
it's unfair.
I digress. I'm gonna disengage.
Let's turn. Come on, turn.
Good idea.
Back to the yoke.
Back to the yoke.
I'm
back to the yoke.
Gonna disengage.
I do think that it is important that, and again, guys,
Zone will start at 9 o'clock. There's no music tonight, but it will start at 9 o'clock.
What's happening?
What started at 9 o'clock?
Sorry, y'all.
Oh, let's go do something over there.
And now she gonna sit there in silence.
Like, what's happening at 9 o'clock? No. Look, Tabitha said, get back to the yoke. Do not engage, Tabitha.
Disengage, Tab. Yeah, wisdom says disengage. It's not even.
I think that with your standards, with your non-negotiables, with all of that, you want it packaged a certain way, all that kind of stuff. One thing we have not touched is the spiritual part of a person, which should be, in my opinion, should be at the top of your list.
Yeah,
it should be at the top of your list. Now, let's turn down a little street here with that, because there are some, Crystal, coach, educator, there are some Christians who have made up their mind, I ain't going by way of the church. I don't want to date nobody that go to church.
Oh
yeah. Oh yeah. Because look now, some have seen too much and have made that decision. Yeah, I'm not going to do that.
That's true.
Well, then you in the non-negotiable area for me. All right, then.
Coach Crystal. All right, then.
All right.
That's very true. I know someone who's a Christian and their spouse is Muslim.
I knew someone who was Christian and her husband was a Jehovah's Witness.
How does that work?
And that marriage lasted until he kicked the bucket. They were married 40-something years. and he passed away.
So, it just kind of depends on, I guess it just kind of depends on, again, your standards or your negotiables or non-negotiables or
what
what
the
do we,
agreement was.
yeah, because it can be, obviously it can be done if we're saying
It can be done.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It can be done.
I think, Delvin, what you saying over there?
That's not nobody. That's not somebody not having a belief. That's somebody, they just have a different way of believing.
Yeah.
It's not about, I don't believe.
True.
You know what I mean? So, okay.
Well, Delvin, you had something?
No, I think it's
Oh, okay. All right.
I think it's the deputy piece, because are we here to convert our spouse, or are we here to laugh? Because I think the way you express your spirituality, unless it's something I absolutely abhor, if you get the freedom to practice what you practice and do what you do, it's not compromising or contaminating our union.
Yeah.
That's right. That's true.
I agree with that wholeheartedly. So I do not disagree with any person that says, I don't want to go to church route.
Yeah, I don't either. Right. Because everybody's not going to find their mate in the church. Hello.
They're probably not there.
Everybody's not going to find their mate in the church.
That's not where y'all meet.
Nope.
And on that note, as far as meeting goes, if y'all single folks want to meet somebody, whether it be male or female, you gotta go outside, man.
You got to
go outside.
You gotta go outside.
You got to get outside.
Yeah.
How you gonna
And
meet
fix yourself
Mr.
up.
Right or Mrs. Right if you don't never go nowhere?
You
be presentable. You have to be desirable for somebody to even pull yourself together.
See, I think that's another one of those areas that the church is kind of put individuals in a box in, because they feel like they can't, like you just said, get anybody outside of the church, and so they stay there. They don't think that they can go out, or they can do things, or they can have fun, or they can enjoy life. And you really can. It's okay, because guess what? When you find a mate, they're going to want to do that, or you all should be wanting to do that and experience things together. So like you're saying, Pastor, you got to get outside. You got to go do. Am I saying go to the club? That's not what I'm saying, but I am saying you need to go outside, go to some concerts, go skating, go bowling, go to the movies, go out of town, go enjoy, go to the fest, go and enjoy life. Have a good time. You never know where you're going to meet him or her.
And if you have really high standards, go to places where you believe high standard is.
Hotel lounges, hotel lobbies, rooftops. The standard is high. Airport lounges. The standard is high.
The standard is high. That's right. Put yourself in those places.
Yeah.
In those arenas. If that's what you want, you definitely have to get in that arena, right? To meet those type of people.
And present what it is that you want. Be who you want to be in that.
We're getting close to our end time. I want to talk about one last thing.
But wait, Pastor Will, before you talk about that one last thing, can we just talk with Shawana for a few minutes? Look what she said.
That's me. Where do I go? Easier said than done. So this is in reference to me saying go outside, right? And Dr. Nancy called off a lot of places, and Coach Crystal called off a lot of places that you can go. And
you will still love Jesus. That's the big. I want you to know that.
Absolutely.
I didn't want us to get off of this live and you not understand that you can go to those places and you can still be. You don't have to go. And if alcohol is an issue for you, you can have a pop. or a soda, whatever you call. I call it pop. I know some people call them
Yep.
sodas. You can have an iced tea. Guess what? It's dry January. They're making all kind of mocktails. Get you a cute mocktail. Get you a ginger ale. Put some grenadine in it and a cute little umbrella. And honey, sip away and have a good time. Enjoy the music. Enjoy the concert. Go to the jazz. You can go to a jazz club and have an amazing. I don't want you to lock yourself up in the church. Go where you at just to play a stage play. Go to the stage play. Enjoy a good museum art. Oh,
I think that the culture of church is changing again. I feel, Delvin, that because it's like every decade almost, it seems to me like there's a shift in the culture of our churches. And I feel like there's like, it's kind of getting a little lighter, so to speak, for a lot of churches, the culture generally. And I'm saying in reference to what Shawana, get out from under the church scene. Mm-hmm. Go to a museum. Yeah. If you like art, go to the Art Institute.
And be okay.
There's several places that you can go because now, if we want to talk biblically, she wants to be found.
She wants, So the only way she can be found is out there.
And he can't find you on your living room couch.
At all. He can't find you
on the chances are he won't find you on the third pew.
Come on.
Yes, culture is constantly evolving. Absolutely. Tabitha says, I would say, think about the places you would like to go or be because it could be ideal if you enjoy the same things. That's good. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's real good. John said he loved him a good mocktail. All right. If you are wife and material, a man will find you. Look, but again, you can only be found
if you're out there.
If you are in a place to be found,
you have to be seen.
Yeah. Huh? Mm-hmm. Come on. And I think Dr. Nancy said it. If you're looking, if you are ready or want to be found, when you do decide to go outside, look like you want to be found.
I like it.
Smell like you want to be. Y'all ain't saying nothing back.
Say it again. I'm with you. I'm listening.
Let me tell you something. It's some nice men at them fragrance counters.
Getting that good cologne.
That's what I'm trying to tell you.
You see my little brother right there, right? That right there. Mm-hmm.
I was out dancing a few weeks ago, and I wasn't paying it no mind, just being my regular legitimate self. And the first thing she said, "Oh, you smell so good."
And he always smells good.
Yes.
That was the highlight of the night. The dance was great, but that right there,
he always, a good smelling man. Listen,
honey,
or a wonderfully smelling woman. A man loves a good smelling woman too.
He does.
Keep your nails done. Keep your feet. Please keep your feet done. Get those heels. Like don't you dare put on a sandal or a sling and those heels.
Don't do it.
Right. Don't do that.
Don't do it.
I need to make sure that heel is okay.
Look. Apostle RJ said y'all can't be outside smelling like skin.
Do you hear me?
Don't do that.
Get you some smell good. I found my wife, Jack Brown said, walking down Chicago Avenue, and we were married 20. Y'all was outside.
You was outside.
Was she white?
Hey, disengage.
Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot we went around.
Delvin, get your sister.
I'm getting
find a man in the soap section at Target. He want to be clean.
Be at the right Target. Now, you can't go to every Target. You have to be at the right Target.
Look like a John said look like a snack.
I ain't fooling with John Stennis. Apostle RJ say you can't be out there smelling like skin only. Let me tell you what you need to get. I'm gonna tell you what to get.
Tell them, brother. Tell them what they need.
You need to go to www.quenchmybody.com. Huh?
Yes.
Come on, I'm gonna tell you what to get. You want to smell good? Let me tell you. Every time I put that stuff on, I put it on purpose. Sometimes take my jacket off at work. Baby, woo, you smell good.
Moisturize.
What is that? I said that's Quench. My sister smell it. I give them the website.
That's a good product line.
It's a good product. I can't tell y'all what Shelly would say about it, but trust me, it's good.
It's a good product.
It's a good product.
Good product.
Lord,
You guys are absolutely nuts.
You like it too. You like it too.
Mybody.com.
Okay.
You want to smell good and you want to attract somebody's attention, go to www.quenchmybody.com. I dare you. I bet you won't. Man, they got this baby powder one. Woo! My Lord. That thing is all right to me.
All of them.
If you ain't
Pastor Prophetess Author Sheridan S. Davis. Hello.
Yeah. You need that.
You know what? See.
Now see, I'm always loving on my look at him. See how you doing?
Delvin, that's her other little brother. Yeah,
okay.
So we feel sorry for you. Nevertheless, people, this has been fun. Yeah, I did have some on, brother. I had some on. I wear it. It's my Quench. I'm gonna probably have to place a new order soon because I only got like 1.5 left.
We do need a new order.
I need a new order.
Yeah.
So listen, in retrospect, as we close out the first episode of our 3rd season, it is okay to have what some consider high standards. If those are your standards, those are your standards. If you feel like it's too much of a compromise for you to adjust them, keep them. Eventually, you will find out if it works or not.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Mm-hmm. In addition to that, be realistic with your expectations of your suitor, because you don't want to ask them what they bring to the table if all you have is the table. No, you need a little bit more. In the spirit of fairness, let's see what you're going to put on the table as well. And we can work this on out. The coffee body scrub on your feet is a blessing, Sheridan says. Keep them feet done.
Keep them feet done.
All right. So all of that. And again, most importantly, if you are single and would like to women be found or men find her, well, it's 2025. Him, find them. It don't, whatever your pleasure is.
Yeah.
Mingle. Go out and not just to church.
Amen.
Go outside of there.
Go outside.
Yes.
Yeah.
Get outside. In the spirit of fairness, you need to be what you expect others to be and more. This is what I'm talking about. Yeah. Don't want someone that's going to give 100, but you're only willing to give 70. That's not fair.
That's not fair.
It's Dr. Nancy said it earlier. We're not doing 50-50. We're not doing 60-40. We going all in, both of us. Okay? Yeah. All right. So I indeed have enjoyed my new little brother, Delvin Haynes.
He is not your little brother.
Shut up.
He's not. He's not.
Yeah, you gotta mingle. You have to mingle. You gotta, you know, if he's yours, he's mine. How about that?
Oh, wait a minute now.
Because I'm your little brother.
What you say, Crystal?
This is not a what's yours is mine situation. You understand what I'm saying?
Because wait, because she got too many doggone brothers for me.
That's her preference.
Now,
Those are the standards.
No.
It's not gonna lower
Her
them.
preference don't matter when it comes to me.
Oh, honey.
And you're not a brother. You're a best
Jerry,
friend. So
you
you
want
stay
to
out
be
of
an
it.
Amazon Prime?
That means that we're the same.
Wait. Hold on. Wait, what?
Share what her man sent to her via Amazon Prime. Honey, let me tell y'all something. Now,
night.
Sheridan is not shy. Sheridan talking about something because I'm shy.
Sheridan
Honey,
is not shy
Sheridan is
at all.
outside. Sheridan is outside.
Listen, Sheridan always on a flight somewhere.
But wait, not just on a flight. Seriously, y'all. Sheridan is outside. Listen, these last couple, Sheridan, you have been living for the people, honey. Okay.
Facts.
So you got to get outside. You got to go to some birthday parties. You got to go to some social events.
Yep.
Shawana, listen, I want you to have yourself a good time. Enjoy your summer. And yes, you can still, and come on. Sometimes it's okay to come on down out them clouds a bit.
Got to.
Yeah.
You don't have to.
Right.
We're not always tongue talking when we meet somebody, because guess what? They don't know the language no way. So y'all be, you know what I'm saying? Like, be okay.
Yeah.
Have a good time.
Sheridan, Tabitha said Prime ain't dependable.
You know what? They not. You might have to return.
Listen, Tanya, Evangelist Tanya, we are definitely going to be doing more shows like this because a couple of things I didn't get into tonight, and I want to get into them because, listen, I want everybody to be happy. If being by yourself makes you happy, enjoy that.
Amen.
If you are not happy, Crystal.
Amen.
You knew that was coming. You knew
the
that
doors
was
of the church are open.
If you are unhappy because you're not dating, I got something for you too.
Yeah.
It's coming. Stay close. Stay tuned in to the self-checkout show.
I like it.
We got something for you. I want to come back next week. Let's continue this because something I didn't get to. I want to talk about the chase.
We love the chase.
You know, I probably don't need to be part of these conversations.
Ma'am, you've been single at one point. Chase. Get yourself together.
Okay.
I want to talk about the chase next week. Well, see, Dr. Nancy, you could help us because you're a marriage counselor. Okay. You could help us deal with it.
She got chased, right?
Did
he chased her, so she
know. Sheridan, log off. Where is Pastor Trina? Tell them.
You know what? I'm done.
Take her phone now, computer, laptop. I don't know what it is, but go. Just be gone.
Hey,
he might not never get here.
Everybody, thank you. No matter where you're watching, thank you for tuning in. And those that are going to listen to the audio version of this podcast, it will be uploaded tonight on Spotify. So on your way to work tomorrow, if you want to tap back in, listen to us, what you didn't catch, just search for the Self-Checkout Show on Spotify, and there you will find us. I'm Pastor Will. That's Dr. Nancy. That's Coach Crystal. And that's Delvin Haynes. You have been a part of the Self-Checkout Show, and we appreciate you all. Love you. See you next Monday night. Good night, folks.
Night.